The NBA is in an interesting spot right now. There's powerhouses like the Boston Celtics, the Milwaukee Bucks, the Timberwolves, the Nuggets, the Clippers, the Thunder. The list goes on for eternity, but there's a shorter list, a more interesting list that I'd like to talk about today, and that is the NBA's dark horse. Real quick, I want to say the Pelicans, in my opinion, are a dark horse championship contender, but considering 2 days ago I made a video all about them and you guys loved it, I'm not going to talk about them, but yes, they are on my short list. If you haven't seen that video, please be sure to check it out, and also if you're new here, thanks for checking me out. I hope you guys consider subscribing, as we are uploading every single day for the month of March. We are 8 days in a row, 9 if you count 2 days video. And as I mentioned, we're on the road to 3,000 subs. Let's waste no more time and get straight into this with the first team on my list, and that is the New York Knicks. This, to some people, it may seem a little bit of a stretch from the terms of dark horse. But I am buying while the stock is cheap, if you will. The Knicks are banged up right now. They are dealing with various injuries, and who's to say they're fully healthy come postseason? I'm not really sure. But what I do know is when this team is fully healthy, on paper, I actually really do enjoy the matchup against the top dogs, against the Bucks, the Cavs, the Celtics. I think the Knicks match up very well with them. Their new additions, yes, they have had a little bit of a slump in the loss column, if you will. The Knicks are 3-7 in their last 10, which is not pretty. But Jalen Brunson, OG Anunoby, and Julius Randle have all had injury woes, if you will, during these times. And you know, it's very easy to see a couple losses get strung together and quit. But as I mentioned, I am buying while the stock is cheap. If Mitchell Robinson was healthy and able to play this season, I think they would have a rather, great matchup against the Celtics. And even with that being said, I still think the matchup against the Celtics is very solid. And this is largely due to the fact that Isaiah Hartenstein has stepped it up big time in his role as the, I guess you'd say starting center, and Julius Randle plays up much bigger than his actual position. Dante DiVincenzo, Jalen Brunson, they have been shooting the hell out of the ball, and I'm sure the shots will continue to fall as these guys are very elite. Jalen Brunson's game has progressed into something that I don't even think I would ever be able to predict, expect, whatever you want to call it. Guys, Jalen Brunson is a superstar. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. He is a dominant force on the offensive side of the ball. His passing is facilitating. It's getting much better. He has played as the number one option in playoff series now. That was never the case before. Last season, he was kind of the number one option with Julius battling that ankle injury. Then with Luka Doncic, he did take over the one game in the Mavericks series when Luka went down. He had that 40-point game against the Warriors, I want to say. Sorry, I'm making this video off the top of my head. But you guys get my point. Jalen's seen the playoffs a couple times. He's comfortable with the New York Knicks. Everyone in New York, including his teammates, are buying into this. OG Anunoby has been amazing. He looks great in the DHOs. He looks great on the defensive side of the ball entirely, which we kind of were expecting. That was kind of the big, oomph of this trade. I'm just saying, this is perfect. You stick him on Tatum, you can put Josh Hart or DiVincenzo on Brown. We're just thinking about the best, the marquee matchups, and I do think the Knicks match up great, which is why they are my first dark horse contenders to make the NBA Finals. Next, they have earned way too much credit in the following years for me to not go ahead and give them a nod. The Miami Heat, they currently are the 6th seed, 1 game behind, actually just 2 games behind the 4 seed, and they're rolling. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games. They have been absolutely terrific. Jimmy Butler looks absolutely amazing. Terry Rozier has played in his last 5 games. He was battling some injuries in February. He missed 4 games from like the 11th all the way to the 26th. But in his last 4 games, he's been putting up great numbers. So we're talking probably averaging around 17 points a night as your second or third option on any given night. Sometimes even the 4th option. Then Jimmy Butler is starting to ramp the minutes up for that playoff Jimmy type of performance, guys. 37 points the other night against the Jazz. Didn't miss a 3-pointer. Looked absolutely amazing. A couple nights before that, I watched the game against the Pelicans. In less than 30 minutes, he had 23 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. Jimmy's been looking great. Bam's been looking great. We're going to hope Tyler Hero is ready to go and healthy during the stint in this next postseason series. But honestly, the Miami Heat, they just have everyone's number out east. I'm not sure if they can bang with the guys in the West, pause, but I just feel like when it comes to strictly Eastern Conference basketball, they have the Bucks number. You know, they might come back with vengeance, but they have the Bucks number. They definitely have the Celtics number, and I am almost 110% sure that they would beat the Cavs in a playoff series. And it's just because I can't see Donovan Mitchell, popping onto the surface against defensive schemes that involve Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. I just can't see it. And you may say, well, hey man, he's done it in the regular season, but the playoffs are nothing like the regular season, guys. So yes, I think it's about time we can all agree that the Miami Heat are deserving of being dubbed the dark horse. So I thought about talking about the Cavs, thought about talking about the Magic, thought about talking about the 76ers. None of them really make my list because the Cavs are winning too much. The Magic, I think, are too young to make the championship. And then the Sixers, I don't think they're going to be healthy. But out west, I got the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, this is kind of bold because on this channel, time and time again, I am not a Lakers advocate. I am not a Lakers supporter. I would go so far as to say I am not a Lakers fan. But it is so, I don't want to say annoying, that's not the right adverb or adjective, but it is so just pathetic isn't the right word either. It's so just incredible that LeBron James is as old as he is and Anthony Davis is healthy and D'Angelo Russell's rolling, and it knocks my socks off to think that this team could literally make the NBA Finals. I mean, they made the Western Conference Finals last season, and every game was close against Denver. I was a big Denver advocate. I watched every minute of the Denver playoffs, and even though they got swept, the Lakers series was the closest by far. I mean, they made quick work of the Timberwolves. The Suns, they got a little lucky. Like Devin Booker and Kevin Durant shot like 95% in the game 4 that they won. But then the Lakers, man, I feel like the Lakers can make the NBA Finals. This sounds so weird, but the Nuggets would have to get eliminated beforehand. Maybe the Clippers beat the Nuggets, and then the Clippers lose to the Timberwolves. Like, I think the Timberwolves or the Thunder would lose to the Lakers in the playoffs. Call me crazy, but this is a prediction video. It's a dark horse video. I don't think the Clippers or Lakers would lose in a 7-game series. The Clippers or the Nuggets wouldn't lose in a 7-game series to the Lakers. But I do think the Timberwolves, the Thunder, they could lose. They could very, very well lose to the Lakers. And that's why home court and matchups are just so important in the playoffs. I mean, we're talking about I almost said a really bad non-demonetized word. We're talking about the Lakers, guys, the 10 seed being NBA championships, or just making the finals rather. But what do you guys think? This video is kind of all over the place, but I do think these are the biggest dark horses to actually make the NBA finals. Not necessarily win it, but make it. Again, LeBron's not the GOAT in my eyes. Jordan is the GOAT, but I give credit where credit's due. He's a hell of a basketball player. And the Lakers, on their best night, look like a great NBA team. Plus, I'm not going to lie, Adam Silver might pull some strings and make things happen. If you made it this far, I appreciate your support as always. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. Stay happy, healthy, and blessed. Peace.